I promise you, I'm not making this story up because my imagination does not stretch that far. This is a story published in a magazine called Wired, and it's about a 34-year-old woman who was hired by a venture capitalist to have her baby. Unfortunately, at 29 weeks, the pregnancy had complications. The baby died, and the venture capitalist accused the surrogate of killing the baby and came at her so hard, her meaning the woman who was the surrogate, came at her so hard that the surrogate had to hire an attorney and get a restraining order to protect herself. Again, I am not making this up now. For the algorithm, this would be storytelling, and this story is very long, so I'm going to break it up into probably part one, part two, and part three. Okay, so hang in there with me. Okay, so Cindy is the venture capitalist. She, at in her early 30s, was a hotshot. She goes to a tech bro party out in Silicon Valley and meets her future husband. Okay, he's 28 years old. He's 8 years younger than her, but she says, don't worry because even though I'm 8 years older than you, I have frozen my eggs, and so we will probably be able to have children. And at that point, he looks at her kind of weird because he just came to a party. He didn't go there looking for a wife, but eventually that's what happened. So 7 years later, Cindy is now 43 years old. She has three embryos, one male embryo, one female embryo, and the other embryo, I'm not really sure if it was a boy or a girl. But she has three embryos, and she decides, okay, now it's time to have a child. So she thinks that at age 43, she's too old, and she wants to do what the other people out there in Silicon Valley do when they want to, have children or quote expand their family. They hire surrogates. So, a surrogate is someone who is hired to have the baby, and then once the pregnancy is over, the parents, who are what's called the interested parents, the IPs, they get the baby and then pay the surrogate for her services. I don't want to be rude and say, they're renting her uterus or her womb, but in a way, that's what's going on. All right, so they go to a agency, a surrogate agency, very reputable agency in California, and they have to go through tests. Now, Cindy did not want to she didn't want to be pregnant for two reasons. Not just because she thought she was old, but also because she was taking a medication that is contraindicated during pregnancy. The medicine is called lithium, and it's used to treat bipolar disorders. Now, bookmark bipolar disorder because we're going to come back to that in later on in the story. So she goes through psychological testing, and even though she has a bipolar disorder, she's on meds, and she, quote, passes the test. The plan with her and her husband are that they want to have three children because they have three embryos. So they're going to get a surrogate for the male embryo first, and then they're going to find a surrogate, another woman for the female embryo. And in 1 year, they plan to have two children by different surrogates to have their family. It's like having twins, but not twins because two different women are carrying the baby. So they hire a woman whose last name was Smith. She was 34 years old. She was a single mom, and she had a 7-year-old son who was biracial. Now, the only reason I bring that up is because it is material to the rest of the story as we move along. And also, I want to say that Cindy was not Caucasian. She was not Black. She was not a Latina. She was from another ethnic group. I don't really want to talk about the group that she belongs to because I don't want y'all to think that I'm making any kind of disparaging remarks against this particular group. Okay. So they hire Miss Smith, who's 34 years old. She's a former professional athlete. She's tall. Cindy likes the vibe, and so all appears to be well. They sign a confidentiality agreement. Neither one of them are supposed to say anything about this arrangement. However, Cindy is on social media platforms violating the confidentiality agreement because she's posting Miss Smith's laboratory results, ultrasounds, other health information that is protected by HIPAA. Now, Ms. Smith is not feeling the things that Cindy's doing, but she really doesn't want to rock the boat. So she files complaints with the agency to let them know what's going on. But unfortunately, they don't do anything about it. So we're moving along during the pregnancy. Everything is fine. The other thing that's important to note is that Miss Smith's job is going to pay the medical expenses that are associated with the pregnancy. And that means that Cindy is going to spend less money. And as a venture capitalist, with a focus on business and money, she's delighted because Miss Smith's job is basically saving her a lot of money. Unfortunately, Miss Smith gets a promotion, and so her job changes and the insurance company changes as well. And the new job's insurance company refuses to pay for the pregnancy of Miss Smith. And so now we have a problem because now Cindy is very upset and she's going all in terms of trying to get this company to pay for something that they refuse to pay for. So I'm going to stop here because I don't want to wear you all out. If you're feeling the story so far, please like and share. Come back again because I will be talking about part 2.
Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not